Manufacturing renaissance. That's how South Korea's trade minister envisions the country's economic partnership with the United States following last week's new trade deal. Seoul and Washington in sync. South Korea and the United States signal that they're ready to resume talks with North Korea after rare remarks from Pyongyang hint it may be open to dialogue. Back to work. President Lee Jae-myung's summer break ends today. He has a packed schedule, including a whirlwind of diplomacy and domestic politics. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. I'm Song Yoo-jin, filling in for Kim Da-mi. A week after returning from Washington with a hard-fought trade deal, South Korea's top trade negotiator laid out his vision today for the country's economic cooperation with the United States and his take on the deal he helped to secure. Our economics correspondent Park Jun-an has our top story tonight.
Trade Minister Yo Han-gu addressed the strong economic partnership with the U.S. on Friday, highlighting the concept of a manufacturing renaissance.
I think the U.S., Korea and the U.S. are really indispensable and really inevitable and indispensable and key partners. I think that is the manufacturing renaissance partnership is actually what Korea can offer to really help U.S. rebuild the U.S. manufacturing, especially in the shipbuilding and semiconductor batteries and bio, pharma, etc.
Yo's comment at the American Chamber of Commerce in Korea came less than 10 days after Seoul and Washington agreed to lower U.S. reciprocal tariffs from 25% to 15%. While the trade minister expressed regret over tariffs that were once 0% on each side, he acknowledged that the U.S. trade and global trade environment has changed over time.
And I think we need to adjust to this new environment. In that sense, I think this trade deal really helped kind of lift some of the uncertainty. The U.S. promised the no worse treatment than any other country, meaning kind of most favored nations tariff level. So I think we kind of achieve some level of stability and certainty under this extremely volatile kind of trade environment.
At the roundtable, AmCham chairman and CEO James Kim brought the idea of helping to bridge businesses between South Korea and the U.S.
We're also committed to working with you, Mr. Trade Minister, to come up with viable solutions pertaining to non-tariff barriers and sectoral tariffs. We want to continue to serve as a bridge between U.S. and Korea, both in the public sector and also in the private sector.
Meanwhile, Minister Yo announced the launch of a dedicated U.S. help desk to better understand and respond to the concerns of American companies. He reiterated the government's commitment to enhancing regulatory predictability and providing strong support for foreign invested enterprises operating in Korea. Park Jun-an, Arirang News.
And staying with the Trump administration's trade war, a sign of hope for semiconductor giants. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says companies that commit to building factories in the United States during President Trump's term will be spared from tariffs. So what does that mean for South Korea's tech powerhouses? Lee Sang-ryong might have an answer to that.
Semiconductor companies that commit to building chip facilities in the United States during U.S. President Donald Trump's term could be exempt from a proposed 100% tariff on chip imports. Speaking to Fox Business on Thursday, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick clarified that firms must file their commitment with the Commerce Department and be audited throughout the construction process to qualify for the tariff exemption. The comments come as Trump announced his latest sweeping tariff plan on Wednesday, where he said Washington would impose around 100% tariff on semiconductor imports. He cited national security concerns under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, while hinting at broader sector-specific tariffs to be announced in the coming week. The announcement has drawn close attention from South Korean tech giants Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. South Korea's top trade envoy Yo Han-gu said Thursday that both companies would avoid the full 100% tariff under the current Seoul-Washington trade deal, adding that South Korea would receive the most favorable chip tariff rates of any country. This is because Samsung has already invested in 2 fabrication plants in Texas, while SK Hynix plans to open an advanced chip packaging and AI R&D facility in Indiana. However, there are doubts whether SK Hynix's packaging plant alone would fully qualify for tariff exemptions, while Samsung, on the other hand, could benefit from not only the 2 fabrication plants, but also news that it has joined Apple's supply chain. Lee Sang-ryong, Arirang News.
However, trade isn't the only point of common ground between Seoul and Washington. Reviving talks with North Korea also seems to be high on the list. A U.S. State Department official says Washington is watching closely after rare remarks from Pyongyang hinting at a possible return to the table. Seoul today welcomed the idea. Our Woo Soo-young reports.
Seoul and Washington have again expressed their wish to revive top-level dialogue between the United States and North Korea. On Friday, South Korea's Ministry of Unification said Seoul has on a number of occasions revealed its active support for resuming symmetry between Washington and Pyongyang.
South Korea and the U.S. share the position that they are open to dialogue with North Korea to seek peace on the Korean peninsula and resolve the North Korean nuclear issue.
The official added that peace on the Korean peninsula and inter-Korean relations are being discussed in preparation for the meeting of Presidents Lee Jae-myung and Donald Trump this month. Various related agencies are closely coordinating on the matter, she said, saying further details cannot be revealed at this time. This comes after a U.S. official on Thursday said Washington is noting with interest a recent remark by North Korea hinting it may be open to dialogue. The U.S. State Department's Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for East Asian Affairs Seth Bailey referenced last week's statement made by Kim Yo-jong, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Kim Yo-jong had said the relationship between the U.S. and North Korean leaders is not bad and called for a new approach by Washington, saying Pyongyang's nuclear capabilities and the geopolitical reality had changed since Donald Trump's first term. But she flatly rejected the idea of denuclearization, included in the 2018 statement following then-President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un's first summit in Singapore. The 2 leaders had agreed to work towards denuclearization and to build new bilateral relations. Bailey said that the second Trump administration is still committed to the statement's principles and that the U.S. leader has clearly shown his willingness to engage in negotiations. Washington, however, remains committed to North Korea's denuclearization through its alliance with South Korea to counter security challenges in Northeast Asia. President Trump in his first term met with Kim Jong-un on 3 occasions. While the first Singapore summit offered hope for a breakthrough deal on North Korea's denuclearization and economic development, disagreements over the scope of dismantling nukes led to the breakdown of their summit in Hanoi. A meeting at the inter-Korean border in 2019 was brief and saw no outcome. South Korea's new Lee Jae-myung administration has expressed its support for the resumption of Trump-Kim talks, as well as inter-Korean diplomacy. Woo Soo-young, Arirang News.
Now, back here at home, President Lee Jae-myung wraps up its 5-day summer break today. Waiting for him is a packed calendar, including summits with global leaders, as well as key domestic decisions. Our presidential office correspondent Yoon Jung-min has a preview.
The president will have a lot on his plate when he returns to work from his week-long vacation. First off, he is set to host Vietnam's political leader To Lam on Monday, the first foreign leader to be hosted by President Lee Jae-myung. Their focus is on partnership in key areas at a time when global trade uncertainty grows.
On top of politics, security, trade, and investment, the leaders will discuss strategically important areas in depth, including nuclear energy, high-speed railways, and smart cities, as well as science, technology, and human resources.
Then will come the first E-Trump summit in Washington, likely slated for August 25th, according to diplomatic sources. A framework trade deal has been reached between Seoul and Washington, with the U.S. tough on tariffs, but it's not a done deal. The two sides still need to work on the details, such as the quarantine process for fruit and vegetables imported from the U.S. Security issues could be also on the table, such as upping South Korea's defense spending and a possible change to the role and scale of U.S. troops stationed in Korea, as Washington focuses on countering China's influence. Here at home, Lee's official schedule includes the People's Appointment Ceremony, as named by the top office, on August 15th at Gwanghwamun Square, when the nation celebrates the 80th anniversary of its liberation from Japan's colonial rule. It'll act as the official inauguration ceremony for the president who took office in June, right after the election and without a formal inauguration ceremony, given that it was a snap election.
At this event, the people will be declared as the owner of the country, and a pledge will be made to develop the Republic of Korea as a leading nation by upholding the sovereign will of the people.
Invited are former presidents and first ladies, both conservatives and liberals alike, and people from all walks of life. Also, appointments of key posts will likely pick up speed to fill the remainder of the cabinet seats, as well as ambassadorial posts to the U.S., Japan, China, and Russia that are currently vacant. On top of the nominations, speculation is rife that Lee will confirm the first round of presidential pardons during next week's cabinet meeting for the Liberation Day that could spark some political repercussions. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.
Now, turning to major developments in the Middle East, Israel's top office announced that it's planning to go forth with a plan to occupy Gaza City, a move that's raising fears of a further escalation in an already devastating war. Kim Do-yeon reports.
Israel's political security cabinet has approved a plan to occupy Gaza City, the largest city in the enclave, early Friday, signaling a significant escalation in the near two-year conflict, despite intensifying international and domestic criticism. A statement from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office on social media read, quote, "The IDF will prepare to take control of Gaza City while providing humanitarian aid to the civilian population outside the combat zones, detailing the following principles for ending the war: disarmament of Hamas, return of all hostages, both living and dead, demilitarization of the Gaza Strip, Israel's security control over the Gaza Strip, the existence of an alternative civilian government that is not Hamas or Palestinian Authority." Netanyahu's office also noted that most political security cabinet members believed an alternative plan would not achieve the defeat of Hamas or the return of hostages. However, government sources indicate that the security cabinet's decision still requires full approval from the full cabinet, a session not expected until Sunday. The cabinet's approval came just hours after Netanyahu said Israel intended to assume full military control of the entire strip.
In order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas.
As the cabinet votes, mass protests erupted across Israel. According to Israel, it already controls around 75% of Gaza. Most of Gaza's population of about 2 million has been displaced multiple times over the past 22 months, and aid groups are warning that the enclave's residents are on the verge of famine. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
Now, shifting focus, South Korea is exactly 1 week away from the 80th anniversary of its liberation from Japan's colonial rule. So, tonight, we put the spotlight on a lesser-known but pivotal figure in the fight for freedom. Byun Ye-young tells the story of the late Lee Sang-ryong.
This year marks the 80th anniversary of Korea's liberation from Japanese colonial rule. To commemorate, a special exhibition is underway to spotlight the life and legacy of Lee Sang-ryong, one of the leaders of the Provisional Government of the Republic of Korea. Titled Prime Minister Lee Sang-ryong and Im Cheong-gak, the exhibit also celebrates 100 years since its inauguration. After Japan's annexation of Korea in 1910, Lee gave up his fortune and relocated to Manchuria, China, with his entire family to escape colonial oppression and lay the foundations for armed resistance.
He focused on unifying the fragmented independence movement groups and also established the Shinung Military Academy, where he aimed to provide proper historical education to the cadets by writing the Daedong history and teaching them accurate accounts of Korea's past.
But Lee's story cannot be told without Im Cheong-gak, his ancestral home in Andong City. Im Cheong-gak is a 500-year-old hanok, or traditional Korean house, and one of the largest preserved residences from the Joseon dynasty. The home also produced no fewer than 10 recognized independence activists, including Lee's brothers, son, grandchildren, nephews, and even his uncle.
Im Cheong-gak is a historic site that shows how the sacrifices made for the nation will ultimately be honored and protected by the nation itself. Though it was damaged due to its role in the independence movement, the government is now fully committed to restoring it.
Lee Sang-ryong was not only an independence fighter, but also a literary figure. Through essays, letters, and manifestos, he chronicled Korea's suffering and yearning for independence. These handwritten records in the exhibition are being featured as works of calligraphy.
A gifted poet and writer, Lee's literary contributions have been brought to light by the brushwork of master calligrapher Lee Dong-ik.
This exhibition was created to give visitors a chance to engage with the Seokju-yugo, a collection of Lee Sang-ryong's writings. It's especially meaningful because it also features calligraphy works that reflect his passion and sacrifice for Korea's independence.
The exhibition can be enjoyed for free at the Seoul Museum of History until August 31st. Hyun-yeong, Arirang News.
In the world of K-pop, Stray Kids has claimed the top spot in France, setting another record on the international pop stage. According to Billboard France, the 8-member K-pop boy band is ranked first on the list of top 10 most streamed K-pop groups in France so far in 2025. The outlet also highlighted that the group sold out 2 shows at the Stade de France in July, which is the largest stadium in the country. It's Friday, which means it's time for Arts and Culture. We have our new culture correspondent Park Gun-woo in the studio. Welcome, Gun-woo.
Great to be here, Hyojin.
Great to have you as well. So, Gun-woo, what do you have for your very first Arts and Culture segment?
Yes, for my very first, this time I visited Jeonju in Jeollabuk-do province, which is about like a 3-hour drive south of Seoul. And this place is holding a K-pop camp right now, and it's bringing in aspiring K-pop rookies from all over the world. It's part of a pilot program ahead of the planned establishment of this dedicated K-pop international school in Jeollabuk-do province. And on site, I witnessed just how devoted these trainees are to K-pop, perhaps fueled in part by the recent global hit animation film K-pop Demon Hunters. But before I tell you more, let's first go to the site where this is all happening.
Letitia in your area? 21-year-old Letitia from Brazil traveled halfway across the globe to Korea with one goal: to succeed in K-pop. Not even a scorching summer heat can stop her from practicing hard every day.
Well, the most exciting part is to be like such a great team and to learn from people like in another different country. So in K-pop, they mix up a lot of styles. And you need to really know the basis to really do well. And that's really hard because you need to be focused. And K-pop 학교 입학하고 싶어요. 진짜로 너무요.
Participants from around the world have gathered here in Jeonju, drawn by their passion for K-pop and chasing one big dream: to become part of the K-pop scene. So let's go see how hard these guys have been working to make that dream come true.
5, 6, 7, 8. For 2 weeks, about 20 girls from 10 different countries, including India and Kazakhstan, have been training for hours daily, perfecting K-pop songs and choreography, as part of a pilot program before the launch of an official K-pop school. For every move and facial expression, practice, practice, and more practice. During the day, Korean vocal practice also echoes around the practice room, with voices blending into one harmonious sound despite the different nationalities. And though Korean isn't their mother tongue, they keep practicing tirelessly to improve. But it's not always easy, as sometimes they struggle after facing challenges.
It's a lot of pressure. I think there's the desire to be constantly perfect. I'm hoping that I can meet the standards of both myself and the people that I want to perform for. So it's been hard, and I'm not used to dancing like 8 hours a day. It's something that I still want to pursue and continue.
When the pressure builds, teachers are there with them. Detailed feedback follows each performance, and the trainees work hard to apply it, boosting their skills and confidence.
Lots of them didn't even know how to sing at first, but their love for K-pop makes them absorb everything so quickly. If they get systematic training, I'm sure they'll be good enough to achieve their dreams.
After beating 28-1 odds to get here, these aspiring K-pop demon hunters are now preparing for their debut showcase next week, the moment they'll fight to secure the Honmun.
Wow, sounds like a great program. So, Konu, for our viewers, please tell us a bit more about this special camp.
Of course, so even though this is the first pilot program, the popularity was quite strong. Around 560 people from 50 different countries registered to apply for this program, but only 20 were selected after tons of interviews and tests. Building on this popularity, Jeonbuk plans to hold the camp several times more in the future, with sessions possibly open to boys as well. And the camp is free of charge, as participants only pay for their flights, giving them flexibility to manage their schedules and explore Korea during their visit. The curriculum includes vocal and dance lessons from professional mentors with real-time interpretation for smooth communication. Trainees also attend a special lecture by a popular K-pop artist, this time Jeonjin from 4 Minutes. Beyond daily practice, they get to perform at local festivals for a real stage experience and are set to release a debut track to be revealed at the showcase next week.
Right, so this all sounds like a very successful step ahead of the K-pop school's opening. So when can we expect that? Any details?
So officials say this will be Korea's first ever K-pop international school in Jeonbuk province, with hopes to open within 5 years. The idea is to welcome students from around the world to the hometown of K-pop. And the school is legally permitted under the Jeonbuk Special Act, so it's planned to cover grades from elementary through high school, offering not only K-pop, but also general subjects taught at regular schools. And officials say there's a special reason Jeollabuk-do was chosen as a site for the school.
Jeollabuk-do is home to Korea's traditional culture, including pansori music, which we can call one of the roots of K-pop. It also has many heritage sites, making it an ideal place to naturally connect with and experience Korean culture.
He added that unlike private academies, which only teach singing and dancing, this will be a proper school with a professional curriculum, while collaborating with major entertainment agencies to provide hands-on experience. However, some concerns have been raised about accessibility.
Unlike Seoul, our province may have some geographical disadvantages. But with the planned triport project in Saemangum, including an international airport and seaport, we hope it will become a proud destination where anyone can come and fully experience the essence of K-culture.
Yes, so it seems like those concerns are not concerns for now.
All right, Konu, thanks for that. And I guess we'll see you every Friday.
All right, thank you.
Heat wave advisories are in effect throughout the south and on Jeju Island. Today's daytime temperature rose to 32 degrees in Seoul and 33 degrees in Daegu, which was as hot as yesterday. There will be heavy rain again on the weekend. The rain will start at dawn tomorrow on the coastal areas of Jeollanam-do province and Jeju Island and spread to other southern areas between morning and afternoon. From the night onward, the rain will also begin in the Chungcheong-do provinces. In particular, between tomorrow afternoon and the dawn Sunday, there will be 30 to 50 millimeters per hour of heavy rain, mainly in the south. Tomorrow, Seoul and Busan will start off at 25 degrees, Chuncheon and Gyeongju at 22 degrees. Daily highs move up to around 29 to 31 degrees across the country. Record rain is forecast next week. Please be prepared in advance. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
And that is Newscenter for this Friday. I'm Song Yujin, filling in for Kim Dami. For all of us here at Arirang, thanks for watching and hope you have a great weekend.